recap of the week. Check this out. That's it. Okay, armbar triangle combo. Okay, we're gonna break it down submission by submission. All right, let's start with the armbar first. All right, so my armbar. Okay, so 3 critical points here. Okay, I need to make sure this thing, the elbow, can't escape. Right now, I don't have anything. Correct? I need to secure, control the elbow. I kind of call this my latch. I latch the arm, latch the elbow to my body. To make sure you can't posture up, I get a cross side grip. See how I get my 4 fingers in? Forearm matches his jawline. Then number 3 that locks in the door, my left foot goes in the hip, ready, and I close it, okay? And I'm pushing. Now, he can't pull his arm. Pull your arm out, Steve. Now, see that? I'm attached. I'm connected. Now, when I'm ready, I'm gonna start to pivot, okay? So notice that my right leg is by the hip right now. As I pivot, okay, my hips are engaged, I slide, okay? Once I get to this point and I know I'm secured, my left leg's gonna swing around and watch. Boom, I hammer down. Now look at where my right hand goes. I let go of the lapel, and now here, look. I lock the wrist like this. Why do I lock the wrist? Because as long as you can't rotate the wrist, the tension in the arm is very significant. If I do this, I see this a lot common. There's a lot of resistance here. Ready? If I'm here, how does that feel, Steve?
Tight.
All right, it feels tight. So now all I have to do, flex the legs down, knees come in, hips up. It doesn't take much, okay? Because what I picture, and this is probably one extremely kind of black belt tip you can take away, when I do an arm bar, I'm not just trying to lift my hips up from the arm bar, I'm trying to pull his arm out of the socket. See what I'm doing? I'm stretching it. When you stretch it, you kind of preset the break. Now all I have to do is lift the hips up, as opposed to being here and just trying to break, trying to be here. I can't, no. We're always trying to be smooth with our jiu-jitsu. Okay, so again, the arm bar. So I'm here. This is my guard. I secure the elbow. I secure the collar. Foot goes in the hip. Pivot. Swing. Hammer that leg down. Hand slide. Lock that wrist into place. Pinch. Lift. Okay? Notice how methodical that is, right? And I should treat any move like this, but in particular, the closed guard armbar, it's a simple technique, an awesome technique, but it's also very simple to mess up, okay? So for example, see how my legs are right now? I call this lazy armbar legs, okay? This is very common. People are trying to be here to finish, but look, you can't build tension. There's plenty of room to wiggle here. You gotta close. Notice how my legs are? They form the letter L, okay? Feet are engaged, so I'm pushing down, I'm pushing in, so then all that's left to do is lift my hips up. Okay, see how the arm stays in place? If I lift like this, look at what happened. His arm steps out. When I do all my homework, 1, 2, 3, all I have to do now is pull. Okay, because it places so much tension on the elbow, it makes it easy. Now, let's get to the triangle. So what if the arm bar doesn't work? I'm going here, but for some reason this guy gets it out. What do I do now? No problem. First and foremost, I secure this arm. Leg comes around, strike, grab, place. I'm gonna do that again because it's so important, okay? So when you're here, this is the sequence to get to the triangle. Ready? Bam, first off, I'm whapping his head. See what I'm doing? As I wrap the head, I grab the shin, latching that down. Now, see what he's starting to do? It's his innate reaction to want to drive in, okay? He wants to try and stop it. But in order for me to counteract that, my right foot is going to use hip. And now, ready, I cinch it up. See how it's nice and loose? I'm gonna push on the hip, pull the shin, and then get a side angle, sir. All right, my hips. Ready, guys? See how the hips are on the floor right now? This is not gonna finish your triangle. Watch what I do. When I push, see that lift? That's latching in your triangle choke, okay? I angle off to the side slightly. Now, Steve's a pretty strong big dude, okay? So being here, it's not gonna work. See how that's little? You gotta arc your leg out while maintaining tension here, lock it, and then ready, squeeze. it's downward pressure. So this is staying nice and heavy for me. I latch it in, feet here. All right, and it's compressing. Now, why do I keep my feet up? When I keep the feet up in a triangle, it tightens the muscle. So observe, ready? When I'm here, see how it's flaccid? Look at how it tightens up, okay? That's what I'm using, and then that helps me reinforce more, as opposed to, look, I'm gonna hurt my own ankle, okay? It's not engaged. Here, nice and tight. Okay, so let's just do one solid flow all together, okay? Wrap this up. Here, listen to my steps. I latch the elbow, I catch the collar, foot in the hip, swim on through, swim the leg down. First I get my arm bar. Number 2, he pulls the arm out, I lose it. Secure this arm, strike in the head, catch your shin, foot in the hip, pivot, lock it in tight, make sure your hips are engaged, and then the final touch, windmill this out, lock it down, okay? And that, my friends, is your armbar triangle combo. It's one of the most basic combos that I learned first starting out in jiu-jitsu, and one that I think everybody's doing, especially from that back scenario, okay? Those are 2 very powerful techs that, don't get me wrong, it takes time to harness them, but when you take the diligence and repetition and work to get that right, sky's the limit, and then other things are gonna change thereafter, okay? I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed that, okay? If you have any questions about the technique, okay, feel free to leave some questions in the comments or message me directly, okay? That's another awesome Skippy recap. See you next time. Skippy out.